4 years ago, I lost 50 pounds, but that was not the goal. That was actually the byproduct of working the plan to get me to my goal, which was to get off of the high blood pressure medicine. Having goals is good. Writing them down is great. Did you know that only 3% of the population writes down their goals? That means that if you're doing it, you're in my 3% club. And did you know that you are 42% more likely to actually accomplish your goals just by writing them down? And that percentage goes up if you include accountability partner or someone to tell. Today, we're going to build an action plan that will make you more productive, not just busy. There are 6 steps that we're going to go over to give you the tools to actually create and accomplish your next goal for your business, not just get you caught in that busy trap. It's going to help you move forward in the right direction for your God-centered business. And of course, you're going to want to write it all down. Join me. Hey there, this is DeneenTB, your Christian business growth strategist and clarity coach, and I am so excited to connect your faith in your business and give you tools just like the one we're going to go over today, the ones that you need to have a simplified and prosperous business. I want to take you through this 6-step activity. I want to take you through it because it's designed to get you moving in a clear and productive direction. Focused actions like solving problems, researching, brainstorming, creating, building, and promoting are all the activities that will really give you that forward momentum. And the 6 steps give you a way to really get clarity in how to do that. Okay, so we're going to go right into it. We're going to do step 1, and that is discussion. Now, I know many of you are probably solopreneurs. Maybe you are, maybe you aren't. So you may not have a team yet to actually start with discussion. But we do have God and our journals. So that's important. And that's a great place to start and to discuss with him what he wants you to focus on. Now, I know you have so many goals that they can actually seem so overwhelming, but I want you to get started by first slowing down and listening to God. It makes such a big difference of how your productivity is, how correctly you do it, how you move forward in the way that God wants you to move forward. You know, that goal I had at the beginning, I told you I lost 50 pounds. Well, I remember being on that nutrition plan and the first time that I ordered a hamburger. Remember, on a nutrition plan, the first thing they do is tell you what not to eat. So I had become gluten-free. But I love hamburgers. I love loaded hamburgers. You know, the onion and the pickle and the tomato and the avocado and the bacon, the cheese. Oh yeah, I also was supposed to be dairy-free. So the first time that I ordered a hamburger, of course, I ordered it without the bun and without the fries. And, you know, it was a little disappointing. When it came on the plate, what they had done is they had taken all the ingredients of the hamburger and they had just piled it all up on top of one another. But there was no bun. There was nothing to fill out the plate. And, you know, you first eat with your eyes, right? And what happened was I had to make this look better. I had all of these things piled up. So what I did is I pulled apart all the ingredients so that my plate actually looked full. My eyes were happier and I was getting a little bit more excited. And I actually started to enjoy my hamburger because what I was able to do was I was able to take each piece and start to cut it up and to create different combinations of flavors. Some of the bites included just 1 or 2 flavors, and some included an entire bite of all the ingredients. It was a great way to eat a hamburger. Okay, so what does this have to do with your goals and your action steps? Everything. You see, many times we decide on a goal and then we make a list of all the action steps that are needed in order to achieve the goal. And what we actually do is we actually start to stack all of those actions together, just like the hamburger ingredients are inside of the bun. Have you ever bitten into a hamburger and then it's so loaded that something falls out the other side? That's kind of what happens when you're trying to work through all of these actions to complete your goal. You have them all stacked up. Something's always missing because you're not seeing all the parts. We have to deconstruct the hamburger, as I like to say. We have to deconstruct the actions and lay them all out so that we can see them, so that we can actually make those flavor combinations and make sense depending on what part of the plan you need to execute next. Taking the actions apart allows you to see what needs to be completed before another action takes place. This guarantees that you are not missing an ingredient, that you're actually making your goal a reality. So just start with this step one of discussion with yourself, with God, using your sticky notes or your journal. Start to get all the pieces, all the ingredients written down. Easy, right? Okay, step number 2. We're going to go into the next part is the reflection exercise. Now, this is actually kind of an extension of the first exercise. So it says, especially if you do not have anyone to discuss things with, the reflection exercise is going to be important as well. So in this step, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be kind of envisioning your solution, your goal working out perfectly. How would it happen? Imagine yourself working out the goal perfectly. What would make it work? How would it define you? How would it define your business? You know, the brain is very, very powerful. When you actually imagine yourself completing the goal, the actions, taking all the steps, your brain actually doesn't know the difference between you actually doing it or just imagining it. It actually releases the same feel-good chemicals, the dopamine, as if you have already done it. And if you're imagining it and your brain is making you feel good, imagine what it's actually going to feel like when you get all those things written out and actually accomplished. It's going to feel amazing. So let me ask you, and let me know down in the comments, do you have a team or someone that you can chat through your ideas and goals with? Or are you a solopreneur? Let me know, and let me know if you've got people to talk to about your business. I would love to know. All right, we are on to step number 3. We are going to be talking about your focus areas. Focus areas. So we need to think about, what do you need for your business and your reasons for this course of action. You can have a lot of goals for your business, and we're going to put those into different categories because most of those business activities do fall into different areas or different categories. When I talked about deconstructing the hamburger, I mentioned that you need to see all the parts for your goal. But you also need to always have your goals kind of out in front of you too. The best way is to list these categories. It's good to have maybe about 3, at least 3, but not have more than 7 areas to your business or 7 focuses, because you're going to get too bogged down. And a lot of your activities will fit into 3 to 7 categories anyway. It's always very industry specific as well, and that will also depend on how many that you have. But we're going to look at some examples in 3 areas because most businesses at least have these 3 areas that we do. So one is to identify and solve immediate problems. We all have that. One is to develop and promote a consistent message, which we all need to do. And another is to develop and support high performance work. And that's really about growing yourself. So I know these all sound like really big areas, but when you look at all the things that you need to do for your business, I bet you can come up with some other broad areas as well. But let's start with these 3, and we're actually going to be looking more specifically at one at a time. So for example, if I have identify and solve immediate problems, you could think of things like choosing which social media platforms are best for you to be on. So if we look at your goals, the one that maybe I've already identified, maybe you did that in step one already, but I don't know, maybe you're just listening. We are going to look at a chart and look at these focus areas, and we want to write them down. So I'm going to put up a chart here. There we go. So we have our three areas or our three categories that we're going to be looking at. And one is to identify and solve immediate problems. This is what I suggest you do as well. Make this kind of chart. We're going to go through these three areas. The second is to develop and promote a consistent message, and then develop and support high performance. So these are all things that we are going to be looking at, and I suggest writing it out. So where are we going from here? For step 4, we're going to be looking at action questions. And you saw that at the top of your next column in the chart that we had. Now, this may be a new way for you to think about your goals. Just like I gave you examples for identify and solve immediate problems, it might be easier for you and more beneficial to actually come up with maybe 1 to 5 like action-based questions for each of your focus categories, because you may not be able to think through what should those things be, but actually say, what do I need to know? And asking yourself questions. So these are specific questions that really clarify what specifically you need to solve, needs to be researched, what you need to brainstorm, what needs to be defined for you, what needs to be created, and what needs to be promoted. All those things that we talked about at the beginning. These questions should really encourage you to think strategically. And when you think strategically, you think productively, and it keeps that clarity so that you move forward. So I'm going to share another chart to help you get started here. So let me bring that second chart up. Now the second chart, again, we have our focus areas, and I've only asked one question in each area, but you can ask more. So for example, identify and solve immediate problems. How do I know which social media platforms are good for my business? To develop and promote a consistent message. How do I create social media posts that reflect my brand? Or develop and support high performance work. How do I continue to grow in my area of expertise? So these are just ways for you to strategically think through what you need to think through so that you're asking yourself the important questions. I always like to say, you could use that who, what, where, why, when, and how. I mean, that's a thing that you can do, but maybe you can just start to ask yourself. So let me give you the example of when I was in my nutrition plan, I began to feel better and I was able to do my work better, both physically and mentally. So I decided that my health goals were super important to me, and it was something that I was going to help keep me more productive because my body was working and I could do my business better. So one of my focus areas was just the healthy part. So staying healthy, feeling better, right? So one of the things I asked myself, and I gave myself, I think I had 3 questions. And the 3 questions I asked were, how can I eat healthy each day? How can I have time for exercise each day? And what do I need to do to refresh my brain power? Because that was super important to me. So how are you feeling right now? Did you realize that there was really a lot more to goal setting than just saying, this is my goal, and here are the steps that it's going to take to get to me? It's not just about writing out something like a SMART goal. It's actually thinking to yourself, what is truly important to me? If I want to be productive, if I want to be not busy, then I need to really be able to think through. And this is important, to think through these 6 steps. So if you're still with me, let me know in the comments. Is this way of thinking, is it helping you? Is this something that you're like, wow, I never thought of it this way before? Or this is better for me because of the way I'm wired than just thinking through SMART goals? or I haven't even thought about SMART goals before. Let me know down in the comments. Okay, we're moving on to the last part of our 6 steps because we're actually on part 5 already. And for each action or question that we've now put, so we have our focus area, we have our action questions, and we're asking 1 to 5 questions in each of those to really help us think strategically. Now we're going to go into the action items. It's basically, how do we answer these questions? How do we have specific actions that you can actually work on that are going to answer the questions that are going to really fulfill the focus area, which is going to get you to the goal? I also want to remind you to think through, is this actually bigger than what I can do on my own? Do I need some resources? What do I need? Who do I need? Do I need some other skills? Do I need something more to help to make it function? That's what's really important. So I'm going to bring up the action items 1, and we'll be able to look at that chart. So here we go. And we have our focus area, our question, which we've already done. So the question in our identify and solve immediate problems was, how do I know which social media platforms are good for my business? Some of the action items, and I've put 2 here. We could research where my ideal clients are hanging out online and get really good at posting there, and learn specifics about the platform if necessary. So you might need help with that. You might need to watch some other YouTube channel stuff, right? As I call it, YouTube University. The second part, develop and promote a consistent message. We're talking about reflecting your brand. What are the actions there? Start a weekly blog to push to Facebook and LinkedIn. Subscribe to a scheduling tool to get posts out in a timely manner. So that's something that you could do. The last part was to develop and support high performance work. Again, how can you show up in your area of expertise? You might need to sign up for a seminar to learn something. You might need to or decide to read a book a month or a book a week, right? Or you might want to hire a coach. These are all things that are possibilities for you. What I really love about doing things this way is that you are able to really figure it out step by step, because by writing out that action plan, you will have a specific and a productive way to actually attack the goal. You will have it worked out, and there will be no more kind of haphazard way to get that goal accomplished. And you might even discover some other goals that you were missing because you had them all stacked up and they were falling out the other side of the hamburger. So I want to share with you, and the reason I'm doing this for 2 different ways is because you can do this for any part of your life. And I want to share what I used for my nutrition plan. So I'm going to bring that one up as well. The focus area that I talked about was staying healthy. Now, the questions I asked myself, and I've already said that, was how can I eat healthy each day? My action was that I was going to make time to meal prep on Sundays. And then how can I have time to exercise each day? And I said I was going to schedule a 30-minute walk every single day. Not always at the same time, but it happens every day. And then my other question was, what do I need to do to refresh my brain power? Because my brain is very important to what I'm doing in my business. And I put down my action item of take breaks every 50 minutes. Get up, breathe, get water, move, all of those different things. So in any part or every part of your life, you can really create something that is beneficial for you. And what I love about breaking it down this way is that you start to create the dreaded word habits. It's not dreaded for me. It's amazing because the habits in your life help to make you more productive. So that brings us to the last step, number 6, prioritizing. Prioritizing these action items. Number 1 should be the action that you feel is the most productive use of your energy, of your expertise, and of your time. Then you decide which actions will get your attention as you begin to work. When you feel like there's too much to do, That's when you have to make the decisions based on what is the most productive thing that you can do right now. Let's look at some of the things that you are doing each day. Let's see if you are being productive, if you're doing your best, or you're just keeping busy. We're going to play a little game. I'm going to give you two activities, A or B, and you're going to decide which one is more productive, which one is actually moving your business forward with clarity. You're going to decide which one is best. So I know you've been writing things down, so a little quiz, 4 questions, write A or B. Be honest with yourself and let's see how you do. So first one, number 1, A, is it more productive scrolling through Facebook, or B, taking just 15 minutes twice a day on Facebook? I hope you said B, making that and putting a timer if you need to. Number 2, which one is more productive? A, reaching out personally to prospects and building relationships, or B, creating a website and waiting for them to come to you? The answer is A, really reaching out. I reach out to 5 people at least every single day personally to make that touch. Just because you build a website does not mean that they will come. Number 3, which one is more productive? A, creating a system for follow-up, or B, scrolling through all your contacts trying to remember who was interested in your offer? I hope you said A. I hope that you know that you need to create a real system for follow-up, whether it is a spreadsheet, a notebook, a tickler file, whatever it is, you need to create a system. That's going to make you more productive. Okay, last question for our little quiz. Which one is more productive? A, putting out inspirational posts hoping that others will want what you offer, or B, having a direct call to action in your posts? I hope you said and wrote down B. You need to have a call to action on every single post, whether that is to answer a question, get on a call, download a freebie, whatever it is. You are giving value on each of your posts. Now, I could go on and on with all of these examples of busy work versus productive actions, but I want you to get off of here quick and start to do these 6 steps. You know, we always want to be working, how do they say, smarter, not harder, right? So there are methods, and I hope that this 6-step plan has given you a way to think through your goals and your action steps to get the clarity about how you can move forward in your business. And of course, join my 3% club by writing everything down, making your chart. So, do you want to know more about me, what I do, and how I do it? Well, I invite you to get on what I call a clarity call. Let's see if you're right for my Calling Clarity program, and if I can help you move forward in the right direction, in the direction that God wants for your business and the direction that you want for your business. You'll see the link down in the description and you can make your appointment today. I would love, love, love to chat with you. This is DeneenTB. Make sure that you like and comment on this video and of course subscribe to the channel. Have a great rest of your day, and as always, be filled to overflowing.